guys, welcome back to Frenemies with Meg and Rad. I am Meg and she is Rad.
Hi guys, today we are going to be talking about relationships, breakups, friendship
deal with
breakups,
it, yeah.
how we deal with it, what it's been like.
Yeah, and how we generally feel about people leaving our lives.
Yeah,
So-
which happens more often than one would think so. You would think that why would anyone leave the lives of these two amazing, beautiful women? But it happens.
We change as people, like every day we are changing and evolving.
Yeah.
And a lot of time we forget that people who are surrounded by, around us
Yeah.
also change.
Yeah, and sometimes people grow and they grow apart.
Yeah, they grow apart and there's nothing wrong. Maybe there's something that is happening in their lives. Maybe something, it's about their family, something with their mom or their parents, or just generally.
You just grow apart,
You just
man.
grow apart.
Like your the way you see life changes, your morals are always shifting, stuff like that. So I feel like
Yeah.
it's completely normal for you to grow apart from people who you've been very,
Yeah.
very close to. I've
Yeah.
had so many friendship breakups all my life, more than I can even probably count.
Yeah.
Last year was the toughest with friendship breakups,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
I had, I think, 5 or 6 people in my life just not be
Yeah.
there anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I don't think that happens with me. I have a lot of people who I have lost, but it's just that it's me because I have trouble just leaving friends. I just have trouble to break relationships. So I'm just like always trying to make it work. I told you this earlier also, where I'm
Yeah.
just like I'm gonna make it work till it's like the end of me where I can't do this anymore. I'm just like tired of it, where I'm like, okay, I've had enough. I have tried from my end and it's not gonna work out because the person is not gonna change.
yeah.
And we have to understand that and set boundaries after a while, where a lot of people who hurt us, we just keep going back and we give them chances and take them back. But it's so important to set boundaries where
Yeah,
you know that if it's hurting
100%.
you and if it's not helpful and it's bringing negativity in your life, just because you're friends with them and you've known them for a really long time does not give them the right to make you feel the way and
That
make
they
you
do.
feel sad,
Yeah.
hurt you or be unhelpful.
Yeah, I mean, like I said last year, so many people that I lost from my life. I mean, obviously, there's like something huge that happened in our
Of
lives,
course.
which is why we lost so many
Yeah.
people. Or we chose to let them go, or we actually distanced ourselves
Yeah.
from them.
Yeah.
And it was just so hard to deal with it because in the moment, I feel like you say things and you're like, okay, this is it. I don't want to see your face again. But then
In the
time
heat
and
of the
again,
moment where that is happening.
but time and again, there are things that would remind you of that person, and it's not as easy. It's
Because you
not
spend so much time
with them.
You spend so many years, and then like my school friend, who I was so close to, and there's only one person. Even after school, I used to talk to her for the longest time, and we went to the same college, and we used to chill, hang out for the longest time. And then she got married. I started working. She moved to Ahmedabad. And I remember for the longest time we never used to forget each other's birthday, and now in the last 2-3 years it's just so hard to keep up because I don't talk to her anymore.
Yeah.
But there was a time where I would be like, I would not be able to live without this person because we spent so much time together. She's
Yeah.
always at my house or I'm at her house.
Yeah.
But things change so much, and even when we talk right now,
Yeah.
it's all good because she knows that she's married and she has a life to live, and she's moved to Canada now.
Oh, sweet.
And she's there, but we keep checking on each other, and she messaged me time and again. She'll be like, I saw this and I'm so proud of you that you're doing this, and it's the same.
Yeah.
But there are things that you can't it's not in your
Yeah.
hands,
Yeah.
where you're like, okay, this is supposed to be this way because she has a life, she chose this life, and I can't be like, oh no, what will happen if you're not with me?
This happens to me all the time where my friends get into relationships and they just completely forget that I
This is what
exist.
happens, yeah, because we have a lot of mutual friends, so we can vouch for that.
Yeah.
And then you're okay with it because you can't do anything.
I mean, I don't love it.
Yeah.
Because I am not that person. I have been in multiple relationships, and I think Meghna can vouch for
Yeah.
it that I am never somebody who forgets my friends. Even if I'm deeply in
Yeah.
love,
Yeah.
I'm always hanging out with my friends, and that's always
Yeah.
a thing. So I get so upset when my friends, enter this new relationship and if they were calling me 10 times a day and they were hanging out with me 4
suddenly
times a
just
week,
disappear.
and suddenly they have just disappeared.
Yeah.
They would not call, they would not bother checking in if I'm doing okay
Yeah.
in something that they know I'm going through. This
Yeah.
happened with such a close friend of mine when I was moving my house, and I was moving from my old house to this one, and this person is not even bothered checking up on me. I live alone. I didn't have family helping me. I was doing it all by myself. And it was so hard, and this person so much as didn't even drop me a text saying, "Hey, is it okay? Like, can I help you in any
And sometimes
way?"
he or she will not address the person. But I used to be like, but it is what it is. They are like this.
And yeah, this happens so often where, because these people, what upsets me is that these people would come back into your life the minute that they have
Like
a
nothing
breakup.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the minute that they're going through something that only you can help them with, they would just come back into your life and expect you to react like,
The same
drop
way.
everything and be with them all the time the way you used to, and it's not the same anymore. You have not checked up on me in months. You have not replied to me. You have not bothered making a plan. The last 7 times we met was when I tried to like make a plan with you. I cannot go back to like nothing happened. I can't be that person who's like, oh yeah, I am gonna drop everything. You need this, you need that from me, you need advice, you need help. I'm gonna give it all to you. That is where I think I am
Draw the line.
finally
Yeah.
starting to draw boundaries
Yeah.
in my life.
Yeah.
Because earlier I never used to, because I come
You know,
from
I was
that
like
place.
this. I was the kind of person. I was like, when you're talking about it, I am the kind of person who my world starts revolving around the person I'm with. It used to happen with me so much until this boy that I was seeing was not even like, it was like I was 18 or 19. I remember where I left everything, like his friends were my friends. I stopped
Yeah.
talking to my friends, and like I was not in touch with anyone for the longest time. And when we broke up, there was nobody.
Yeah.
I was like, because his friends are his friends, they'll go back to him. Because whatever, even if they are my friends, they will prioritize him.
Yeah.
And everything, my world just tore apart.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what do I do? Like, there's nobody I can talk to about this, because the time while I was in a relationship with this guy, I never spoke to any of my friends about it.
Yeah.
So they have no idea what's going on in my life.
life.
And they were like, you'd never talk about anything. Your world starts revolving around this person. And I was like, then I started like, oh, I can't do that. Because
Yeah.
your friends are always going to be in your life, no matter
Yeah.
what. There's a person, you may end up with him, you might not end up with him.
Yeah.
But the world doesn't work that way, because you need your friends in the end. You talk
Yeah.
about everything, like the good and bad. I used to like, for the longest time, Radhika and Shivani always, like, because they were my best friends, they are my best friends. They always talk about everything, the relation. Or all the other girls that I know, we sit and have this conversation where they'll tell me that, oh, this is the fight that happened. This is the great thing that he did. But I always used to share only the good things.
I know.
I never spoke about the bad things for the longest time, until it just tore me apart, and I was like, I come crying and I'm like, okay, this was happening.
I know, and this is something I noticed in you where you just wouldn't talk about any fight. I feel like
They
was
should
there
think,
a
oh my
part
god.
of you
Yeah, like
who was
they-
putting up a front?
Yeah, I was. Because I was like, why do I talk about this? Because there are so many things that are happening in your life already, that why do you want to hear about me? Because in the end, I'm going to solve it. Or I think you always was that person where I'm just like, ho jayega, theek
But
ho
I feel
jayega.
like that is also such an unhealthy way of
Way
dealing
to.
with things.
And now I know that. Now I talk about
Because
everything.
you know what happens with that is that I've had multiple people who have done this.
Yeah.
When you know they're like, oh, this person has so much going on, I don't want to share. And in the end, when you're having a fight with that person or having an argument, you just go like, all you do is talk about you. We never talk about me. And that person's like, bro, but you've never spoken about you.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening in your
Yeah.
life. I've asked you multiple times.
And this is what happens with us,
With us
a lot
as
of
well,
times.
where we've had conversations where, you know, Meghna's been like, everything's about you. I know everything that's going on in your life. And I'm like,
You never talk about it.
I have asked you. I have asked you
But it doesn't come.
multiple
Generally,
times.
also, it doesn't come. Even right now, like Shivani's like, you don't tell me what's going on. You have changed. You don't tell me. I'll tell you everything that is going on in my life. I was like, I'm not that person. I feel like if I share, it's not good. I know in the end, it's not like I'm in denial. Everything that's happening in my life, I know what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
And I know if I talk to you about it, I know I'm gonna do the opposite thing. And you'll
Yeah.
tell me time and again, you're like, and that's gonna come back and be like, bite me, because you're like, but I told you this is gonna happen. Then I don't want to hear that, so I don't talk about it.
No, but I still think if you're so close to people and you live with them, you live such big experiences with them.
I keep the things in me for so long, and I'm just like, one day I'll just be like, okay, I can't take it anymore. I'll come to her and like this is happening. She's like, why didn't you ever speak about it?
And she
I
would
would
tell
be
me
there
like
to
the
help you.
whole thing, and I would be like, wait, this has been going on for months. Like, why have we not discussed this?
Yeah.
I have asked you, and you said everything's going well in
Yeah.
your life, everything's great.
Yeah.
you
Until
know?
it just falls apart, I can't talk about it. And then I'm like, okay, I can talk about it. Which is such a bad way to deal with things.
Yeah.
And now I'm realizing slowly that you feel so much lighter when you are talking to one person. And there should be like one person or two people in your life where you can talk to anything and everything about without thinking that they'll judge you, because they won't judge you. And I keep thinking that you will judge me for it.
We're the non-judgment breakfast club.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like if I say this, I'll be like, oh, the bad person. And there are some things which are like, which you guys would be against, and I'm doing, and I know that you'll say, don't do this.
How do you deal with friendship breakups more than breakups with the romantic partner? How do you deal with it?
So we decide once in a month we meet. It's like the Sex and the City thing where.
And I'm Carrie. Why am I not a part of this?
So once in a month we meet and we talk about one by one. We meet for 2 hours and everyone gets half an hour, and they can talk about their lives and whatever's happening in their life in that week or in that month, and then we give advice to each other. कि ये ऐसा करना चाहिए, and then we're like, okay, in the end I'm just like, I'm listening to everyone, and a lot of times, you know what happens is, can you make me wear this because I'm just holding it. So we were 5 of us in the group, and one I'm not gonna name is not there anymore because of she was full of herself, and she would not.
Oh, I know who this is.
Yeah, and she would just.
It's the.
If you are not okay, say for example we are on a travel trip and you are sharing a room with her.
Oh, we shared a room with her.
Did you? Yeah, I mean, not a room. We shared a room.
We shared a villa with her.
Yeah. So like, and she's very. It's like, if you are on your phone or whatever, if you're breathing also, she's like, can you breathe a little less? She would just have a problem with anything until she is like, if she has a problem, then everyone should be there to solve it. But if not, then she'd be like, okay, whatever, it's your problem, you deal with it. And that's something which is not healthy. And we were like, okay, every time you cry about something, you'll just make a call and be like, okay, this happened with my life, and I'm supposed to leave everything and be like, okay, because I understand where you're coming from, and I'm like, okay,
this person wasn't there to support you in something huge.
That's something huge, and
that
something that it's against my Sanskriti. Like, I wouldn't do it. That's something so wrong. I was like, bro, this is against, it doesn't matter. It just like, that's not something that I have been taught, and that's not my upbringing, and I wouldn't do that. It doesn't matter the circumstance. Everybody has a certain circumstance in their lives, and you have to deal with it. You can't just change your mantra for that because you're like, fuck, I believe in this. And a lot of I know for a fact that after a while your beliefs change. Sometimes you believe in things and you grow up, and because shit happens to you, you don't believe in it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I would never. I'm so against cheating. Like, I wouldn't do that. But I understand if someone does it and if it's between two people.
Yeah.
And something must have gone wrong before we judge.
Yeah.
You don't know both sides of the stories. And now I'm okay with like, it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I would understand where the person's coming from. Maybe they have their story, they have their differences, or something must have gone wrong.
Yeah.
So you can't just, because everyone deals with their loss in a different way.
Yeah.
I would not talk about it, you would talk about it. You would feel
Yeah.
better talking about it. I would just be in silence and not talk about it.
Yeah.
I'll just deal with it.
Yeah.
But it's such a bad thing, of course, but because it's just building up inside and you're like, fuck, boof.
Yeah.
Now, like, I can't take it anymore, and
Yeah.
then I'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Question was, how do you deal with friendship breakups?
That's what I'm saying. This is how I deal with it. I don't talk.
I don't deal.
I don't
How do you
talk
deal with
about
it? I
it.
don't
I
deal,
just let
actually.
it pass.
I just let it
And
be.
I would not. I've realized to set boundaries now in my life, where I'm like, this is not something that I need in my life. And if you're not bringing anything in my life, a good thing in my life, then I don't need you.
Yeah, I think setting boundaries has also changed my life, because earlier I was such a people pleaser. I was this person.
I feel like still am.
No, because I feel like because I grew up in such a like lonely way that I felt like I had to do things in order for people to stay. So I would be that person. You want a pink dress? I have 5 pink dresses. You can take any one of them. You know, you want this? I have this. You want to eat this? I'll figure
bribe
it out.
people to.
Yeah, I would just constantly bribe people, and I feel like that was my way of making people to be with me or to like me. And I would always, no matter what you want, I would source it for you. I would figure it out for you. I would do it for you. And I think have understood that, and sometimes it would be against what I would
Believe
want,
in,
you know. And now I've just reached a point where I'm happy to help you. I'm happy to share things. I'm happy to let you borrow things. but I'm setting boundaries. This is not okay. I need you to bring this back to me. I need you to, like, this much is okay. You cannot walk in on my space. You cannot expect
Yeah.
me to wake up like
Yeah.
like you cannot expect me to answer your phone call at like 12 in the night to discuss some bullshit. That's not who I am anymore. I have my own set of boundaries. I have my own set of the way I live my life, and that is what I want to kind of establish. And I feel the minute you set boundaries,
Things change.
so many people who were just there for the using you bit of it just disappear. And
That's so true.
I have noticed it personally, but there were people who suddenly be like, oh, she's changed. Oh, like, what do you mean I can't do this anymore? Oh, what do you mean I can't borrow this? What do you mean I can't?
Because you were always giving. And
You were
now
always
suddenly-
giving.
Yeah.
And now these people are like, oh shit, like, she's
Yeah,
changed. She
and-
thinks too highly of herself.
Yeah,
you
and I don't know what makes them say that, because you're just, it's not like she's being rude. She's giving her things, and of course she would expect it back.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I don't understand the thing where people just expect you to do things and not expect anything in return, which is okay, whatever. That's how you think and that's how you feel. I am the kind of person who will give and give and give. But at some point, you'll expect something in
A
return.
little something back, yeah.
You can't be like, okay, I'll do 100% and you'll give 0%.
You can't let people walk all
No,
over
yeah,
you
yeah.
just for the sake of having them in your life. And that was something so important because I've had flatmates, right? I've had
Yeah.
flatmates
Yeah.
ever since I've moved to Bombay. And this house actually is the first house technically that I've lived in alone, because
Yeah.
my previous house, I had a flatmate and then she moved out and then
Then
it
you lived
became
in
my
alone, yeah.
entire house. And I just realized that in this situation, sometimes it can be so tricky when you're sharing an apartment with someone to like draw that boundary.
Yeah.
And
I've heard so many stories of you.
Yeah, I have had the worst experiences with flatmates. where
That's why I am so scared, because I moved out of my house
Yeah.
like 2 years ago, and everyone's like, would you live with someone for the first time? I was like, bro, no, I've heard her experiences, and that's something that I'm not okay with. My peace is very important for me to
Yeah.
fight about petty things.
Yeah.
So I can't do it.
And I have noticed, especially in those equations where I have drawn a boundary and I have said, no, this is not okay with me actually. It's just started to, their attitude towards me, their love towards me, everything has just started to change. And I think that was, those kind of breakups are very hard for me
Yeah.
to understand, because to just kind of, be able to comprehend that this person
is not
is
there.
leaving you because you are no longer serving their purpose is such a hard thing
There,
to
I think
swallow.
a lot of people think that way. If you are not beneficial for them anymore, they'll be like, okay, she's not helping with anything, so what's the point?
Yeah.
And which is such a bad way of thinking, because they suddenly start judging you
Yeah.
for something that you're not. You've always been that person, but you can't do it anymore because you can't always be available.
Yeah. 100%.
And I think we have been available to a lot of people all the time, no matter the circumstance, no matter how bad they are, no matter how they fought with us and they come back. And the fact that we keep taking them back time
Yeah.
and again because you
Yeah.
think they'll change, it's not right, because people never change.
Yeah.
You think that
I mean, I think people change. People change. But I think you have to have a really good proof and evidence to support that. I have changed, you have changed. We used to be terrible friends to each other at some point.
I'm
We've
saying
been
that-
good and then terrible and then good
but
and
I
then
think
terrible.
that's just people in general. Not everyone is a saint.
Yeah.
There are people who have that. Sometimes I'm going to be very nice to a set of people because I love them so much, I would die for them. There are some people I'm acquainted with what
Yeah.
I would not do. Like, I love you very much, I'll do things for you, but not when it's me time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to leave everything for you like that.
Yeah.
So everyone has like the bad set of people, as in the people who you are just chilling with or hanging out with, and you would do anything for them, but you would not leave your things and go for it.
I had a hard time kind of differentiating between friends and acquaintances.
Yeah.
And in my delusion, I used to think I have so many
Many
friends.
friends,
I
yeah.
have like 40 friends. And I realized I had 2 friends who were there
when
for me.
when you're actually like going through a bad time, who's standing up for you is the real friend.
Yeah, when you are in need of a friend. And I truly believe that a friend is obviously supposed to be there for the good time and the bad time. And they're supposed to be there all the time. I'm
Yeah.
not saying they're supposed to leave their work all the time
Yeah,
for
of
you.
course.
But there has
Like
to
I'm
be,
telling you about the lockdown thing where Radhika was living alone and I was staying with my family. 5 of us, we were living together. And then Radhika was staying alone and Arnav has called me and he's like, Radhika doesn't talk to you about it, but she's really sad. She's feeling lonely.
I had no one. I had
And
a
she's
point.
no one.
I had 3 days in my life during lockdown.
And we were not even in the lockdown. We were not even. We
Like
were
talking
doing. Yeah,
a
we were
lot.
hardly talking. And I was like, there is no way. I found a way to just go to her, and I was like, it's okay. Like if I was in her
Yeah.
position, she would do the same for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, she needs me. And after that, like 2-3 of her friends who were very close to her, her Delhi friends, that time who were talking to her, and very close to her, they were like, thank you so much for doing this. I don't think anyone would do that.
Yeah.
And I remember you just got Barfi then.
Barfi, yeah. Barfi was a puppy then. It was
Yeah.
lockdown.
Yeah.
And I remember there were people in my house who left during that time and I was all alone. And for 2 days, I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah.
Like, and this was also the peak of my anxiety. I'd never been alone in my entire life. And suddenly there was nobody there. And that's when I think Arnav called you and
Yeah.
told you to come over. And I'm forever grateful for something like that. You know, and that truly does separate the kind of friends you need versus the ones you don't, because the ones who left me are no longer in my life.
And also, the people who left you at a time where you needed them the most.
Yeah.
And you were like, I would not do. Like, it doesn't matter if you've done right or wrong.
Dude,
If
this
you're
is the same person basically who it was lockdown was announced. Me and my 2 friends, one a Delhi friend and one a flatmate, were in my house. Lockdown was announced. We, you know, in our panic, we went got the groceries because this is like, acha, abhi 2 ghante baad you can't get out from your house. We picked it up and then I got a call from Arnav. Arnav had just flown into the country that same day because I told him flights are gonna get shut. And till then everything was still fine and then this was announced and Arnav found a way to come pick me up and I was, you know, I was talking, and again, long distance relationship. I hadn't seen him in so long and these were 2 friends. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go because I really want to be with him. You have the both of you for each other. And this girl has kind of taken it upon herself to take that revenge from me. And that's why she left. So she
left the house.
No, so she was there in the apartment with this other friend of mine. And she's, by the way, a clinical psychologist.
Okay.
She was in the apartment with my other friend for about a week. They were, you know, dealing with chores, doing everything. I felt obviously terrible about leaving them, but I still knew it's 2 people.
So they have each other.
एक साथ तो है company देने के लिए. And I left them, and I went, and within a week, I was meant to come back or something like that. And when I came back, firstly, this person was terrible to me, gave me such a hard time. And she, being a clinical psychologist, knew I'd never been alone and I had major anxiety. Do you remember that phase of my life where I couldn't sleep alone? So I had you sleeping next to me, I had other people sleeping next to me all the time. If someone would not sleep next to me, I couldn't
I remember
sleep.
I was out once, I was staying at Shivani's and she's called me at 3 a.m. saying, Mate, I can't do this.
I can't sleep.
I've taken a rickshaw and I've gone. I was like, Shivani, you can sleep. I'll just go to her.
Yeah.
She's not feeling well.
And this person in that moment to take revenge from me has left me all alone. Both these people, the clinical psychologist and that other friend, have both decided to leave me and gone. And so for 2 days, I was just, firstly, it's lockdown. I had nobody. Barfi was a new puppy. I was dealing with a new puppy. I didn't have staff. I didn't have anyone. And I was also dealing with the feeling so fucked up that I left her and then the fact that she left me. And it was so tough for me to understand why someone would kind of do that to me. And, you know, in that moment, you came into the picture and you were so happy to help me. And I think that separates, that's like the biggest telling sign between 2 people, right? Somebody can be a clinical psychologist and can go to whatever university and can still not understand this, the
And I would
basic
not.
difference of revenge versus doing it because leaving you with a person, hadn't met my boyfriend, not leaving you all alone, with you not having this issue of not being able to sleep, it's so different. And I think people just don't get it. And these are such toxic friendships
and
to
so
have.
petty thing to do to someone who's, and I have no idea, like when she was dealing with all this, I have no idea because I have never dealt with anxiety for the longest. Like I get panic attacks sometimes where I'm like, things are not happening and so many things are happening and I don't know what's going on because there's something that is bothering me but I don't know what. I understand that now, but back then I didn't understand what that means.
Oh my god, we're gonna make a whole different podcast about anxiety because I feel like, I feel like it's one of the worst things to have happened. And okay, coming back to our topic of friendship breakups, I think those are just so hard to kind of deal with. When you're just like, what happened? I stopped serving a purpose in your life and I'm no longer important. So now no longer relevant, no longer required in your life, and it's such a hard pill to swallow.
We understand when it comes from a perspective of your family or your other half or your sister or something moving away, and then you decide to move away with them. That's a whole separate thing.
Yeah.
But then something like this happens and you have no idea what did I do? You're just doubting yourself and you're like, what did I do wrong? I was always there. And you just keep doubting yourself in the middle of the night. You're thinking, but we used to hang out all the time. She knows everything about me. He knows everything about me. What happened?
I think you just need to understand that you've stopped serving a purpose in these people's lives. And
and now I've realized it's so important to talk to someone that understands you, or get a therapist. And it's okay to feel sad, it's okay to feel bad, it's okay to feel hurtful, but it's not okay to deal with it alone. And just speak to someone. Speak to your family. If you're close to your mother or your father or your sister or any of your best friends, it's so important to talk to someone. And don't make any decisions yourself, because
you're also spiraling, right? You're
always
going over and over in your
and it's
head.
always good to know, because there are certain things you're thinking about. You're like, okay, this is the way I think. Maybe that person will just help you thinking, no, you're just overthinking. Nobody is thinking that. So it's so important to have someone in your life to have like 2-3 opinions and talk to them about it. And get a therapist. Talk to them.
I vouch for therapists, not this clinical psychologist that I'm talking about.
But it's so important to have someone, because also I think that therapist is also important, is because that person is someone who will tell you things that are very different from what your friends will tell you. Because your friends know you, they know how you deal with situations and things. But a therapist would totally give you an opinion that she thinks is right or wrong for you. Because you have one. And she'll tell you, like, every time you're going through something, she's going to tell you, okay, Radhika, this is what a human brain works like, and this is what they have done to you. So you deal with it in a way, and she's not going to be biased to anyone. She's not going to be like, oh, this one has done this, so that's why this is happening. Because I would say that, oh, you shouldn't do that because remember she did that to you. Because a therapist is not going to say that, because she doesn't know the other side of the story.
But we're done with like the friendship breakup bit with it. Is it the same way that you deal with relationship breakups as well?
In a way.
So you don't deal with it, because that's what we said about you dealing with
no.
friendship.
It's very easy for me to fall in love with someone. Like, I will talk to you if you make me feel nice and you are generally nice to me and the people around me and my friends. I'll be like, oh my god, he's so cute. He's just nice to my family and my friends. So I will fall in love with you in 3 weeks. And then after a while, I'm just giving all of me. And then it feels like I give so much that they are so used to it that they're like, okay, ye to karegi types. After that, I'm just like, it takes me so long. Even if I'm in love with you in 3 weeks, it'll take me like 3 months to get out of it. Because I'm thinking about, what did I do wrong? Am I not good enough? Am I doing something wrong? But I know I just give myself too much. And it's just very hard for me to deal with it. I think the only way I can deal with it is talking to someone else. I will not get over a person until I'm in love with someone else. Because there's always one person.
The best way to get over someone is to get under someone else.
Yes. So I'm just like, it's because I know for a fact I need one person that is constant in my life, where I'm updating you about what's happening in my life. Today I'm doing this, yesterday was like this or whatever. But sometimes you're so comfortable with someone. Like, I have been in longer relationship, even if it's like a situationship. It's very hard for me. I have a lot of trouble getting out of it, because I'm just too scared to get into something else and feel the same way. Every guy that starts talking to you, I think the end game.
Yeah, every guy she starts talking to.
I think like, this is it.
Talking to this one, and you never know. And then the other day she'd be like, talking to this one, you never know. I'm like, you have a lot of you never knows going on.
So I'm just like, my end game is to settle down. So anyone I talk to, because you fuck up, I'm not gonna fuck. I'm just like, I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna give my 100%. But it doesn't work out. Because I'm just like doing, and I'm like, okay, I can't deal with this.
Yeah.
And it's so hard. No matter what, I think I have to just learn to let go.
Yeah.
Because I just hold on to things so tight. I can't just, it's very hard for me to let go.
Yeah.
So I have realized that now, that it's okay. If it's meant to be, it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And I will find that person. And it's okay. I'm just gonna be with myself right now, chill, travel with you, and have fun.
Yep.
But yeah, I am not going out there, putting myself out there and looking for the one.
Yeah.
Because I know for me it's gonna be hard to deal. How do you deal with it?
I feel like I'm the opposite because, I mean, not the opposite, of course, a lot of the way we deal with it is very similar, but I feel like I give my 150% to a relationship where, I am doing everything for that person. I'm not even giving them a chance to kind of do anything for me. I'm going to remember them, their birthday, their dog's
Same,
birthday,
yeah.
or staff's birthday,
Yeah.
their what date they bought their carpet, and if that
Yeah.
birthday needs to be celebrated, I will just remember every
Little
single
thing,
thing.
yeah.
And it would reach a point of frustration for me where by the end, like while I'm getting towards the end of the relationship, I'm so done and exhausted of giving so much and not even receiving half of it back, that I feel like my moving
not
on
even
has already
expected.
happened.
You don't expect like half of it also. You're like 30% कर दे यार, 70 मैं देने को ready हूँ.
Yeah, I just feel like by the time I get to the end of it, I feel like I've already moved on because I've
Done
so much and I've been so disappointed, and I'm not somebody who's not vocal. I've mentioned that, listen, I'm not feeling like this is okay. I'm feeling very hurt by this. Can you
And
make
she is
this
like that
effort?
in her friendships also.
Yeah.
Like something is bothering her, she'll tell me. She'll be like, Megs, we need to talk. And then I'm just like, what did I do? What did I do? She'll be like, let's just sit down and talk face to face. I remember
Yeah.
that one incident when I was at Shivani's and
Yeah.
something was bothering you and you
That
were
was
like,
really long ago.
yeah, really long ago. Now it's whatever. And I was like, I understand. And after that, I know. I was like, I understand where you're coming from. And
Yeah.
it's so much more easier when you tell me that something is bothering
But
you.
that's you, right? You still like listen to that feedback and you cared enough to kind of change the way you were dealing with things. But there's so many people who are not able to. There's empty promises. There's like, okay, no, I'm sorry, I understand where you're coming from, I'll do it, and then it never happens. And it's just like, I think it gets to a point where it's just a ray of, it's like a bombardment of disappointment, because like you reach a point where you've been disappointed so many times, you've been told, I'm gonna change, I'm gonna make this work, I'm gonna make this happen, don't worry, I love you so much, there's nobody other than you, that by the time I get to the end of it, I'm exhausted, I am done.
Yeah.
Like, I do not have more in me to give. And when I'm done and I'm saying, okay, I'm done, I can't do this anymore, at first I feel like nobody takes it seriously, because they're like, she's gonna
Come back,
she's
yeah.
gonna come back,
Yeah.
she's done so much for me, she's obviously not gonna stop now.
That's
This
what
is
I've
a
seen.
forever thing.
Like people just feel like they just
just
start
take it
taking
for
you granted. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think by the end of it, when it's the final straw, I don't even realize it that much, because I've already processed it in those months of disappointment.
Yeah.
And I've already moved on. So, and then it becomes a very hard thing for the other person,
Yeah.
because they have, in their opinion, they've not seen going from like 100 to a 0 in phases. They are thinking 100 to 0 in one day. How is she over me in a day? How is she like, okay, how is she,
But you've been processing this all the last months that you were
Yeah.
dealing, because you're like, how to deal with it.
And it's been like, I think that is just who I am. And of course, I still love that person. It takes me a long time to get over the memories. And in most cases, I don't even want to get over the memories, because they're beautiful and they've made me who I am. I've shared some beautiful moments with these people. But that love, being in love it's gone.
Yeah.
I'm tired of being the only person. And it's so sad. I think that's what shocks most of these people, when they're like, fuck, like, how has she done this so quickly? And I'm like, I've been dealing with it mentally for so long.
Yeah.
Um,
But I also feel like we as people, we think that, okay, we are in a relationship for so long and we are giving. After a while, you are exhausted and you're like, I don't have it in me to give anymore. But you move out of that person, you get to know the other person, and you still have so much love to give because there's so much love in you as a person.
I don't think I'll ever run out of love.
Yeah, I never, I was like, I'm tired, I get fed up, I am exhausted, hurt, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore, I will never be in a relationship. And there comes a moment where again I am doing the same thing. मेरे दिमाग चल रहा है अगले दिन हमारे मोहल्ले में ऐश्वर्या आए and I'm just like, bro, I have so much love to give that it'll never get over because I will do that. I will do the same things no matter what, no matter how much I've cried or I was hurt or whatever it made me feel.
Yeah.
I will get over it. And it's a new start, it's a new day, and I will do the same things and then again get over it.
Yeah, I feel like so many people say, I'm so tired and I have no energy and love left to give. And I'm just back to square one.
We're complaining.
I can do it again. I can do it again and
I
again
can't.
and
Yeah.
again and again.
Yeah.
Like, I am never gonna stop believing in love. I'm
Yeah.
never gonna stop believing that it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah,
I
same.
have that magical fairy
Yeah, and I
tale
don't believe.
situation.
Yeah, and I don't believe in the you have like 2-3 great loves of your life because I've had couple of them.
I think there are multiple great loves.
So you can't. Yeah, you can't be like there's only one person for me. No, I think there are multiple people for me.
Yeah, and it also depends on the time and phase of your
Your
life,
life.
the age, the what you're going through in the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
Sometimes you meet some people at the wrong time.
This is what I was getting at, where you say you meet people at the wrong time, and sometimes if people want to make it work, they will make it work. There is no wrong time, and I made to make myself believe. I say, oh my God, this is a wrong time. He's just going through a breakup, and he has felt this way. And I would never do that. I'm a human being. I have felt things. I have been through a breakup. I have been treated shitty in my relationship. I have gone through this.
Yeah.
But if I want to make something work, I will make it work. It can't be a wrong time. If I'm in love with you, I will leave whatever it is.
Brings back a lot of things, but
Yeah.
sure.
I'm just like, no, you can't say that. This is a bullshit reason to say to anyone that it's a wrong time. I have heard it so many times, and I'm
No,
like,
man, I feel like,
your experiences.
No, I am a very big believer of the movie La La Land, and I feel like they had it all.
Yeah.
But it did not work out for them. So I feel like sometimes in your life, you meet people at the kind of time of life that you are in, that you are truly not able to appreciate who they are and what they bring into your life. And maybe a couple of years later, when you have had the maturity, maybe you can appreciate them a little more.
I feel like by the time you'll move on, and then there'll be someone else in your life who has given you all of it that you were expecting that person to give you.
You know, I really hope to meet this person who can give it all to me.
Because I will 100% give it my all.
Yeah.
I will give 100% in a relationship, and I'm not being selfish. Because I will do it for you, and I expect you to do the same for me.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing that, there's no point in
Yeah.
us being together.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't make sense.
What do you think is more painful though? A friendship breakup or like a relationship
A
breakup?
friendship breakup, 100%.
Are you sure?
How you deal with both of
We're
them.
gonna bleep out these names, but are you telling me that leaving versus
I'm not saying.
leaving? Leaving hurt more.
I'm saying it depends on. I'm sure a lot of friends leaving won't like. Leaving hurt me, but
Yeah.
I can't do anything about it. I would never expect him to do what he did to me because we used to hang out all the time, and it still hurts me if I see him anywhere. I have seen him 2-3 times, and there are a lot of friends. I see him and it just breaks my heart. I was like, how can that person do that to me?
Yeah.
Like, I would have never in my wildest dreams done anything like that. I thought that person would do anything so extreme to anyone and lie to my fucking teeth and be okay with it.
Yeah, I think especially with friends, because you spend so much time.
And and every weekend that I've met him, we've gotten drunk and we meet when we're doing out. And he's told me, looking deep into my eyes, saying, I love you so much. You are the best thing that happened to me. This friendship means a lot to me. You're lying. You're hurting me. You're doing things to me that if I find out. And the fact that you expected me to never find out just baffles me. I know people. Like, I will, if I find that out, you are gone from my life.
Yeah.
And did you ever love me so much? or you were just lying all this while.
Yeah.
Like for all these years.
Yeah, and especially with friends, it's so, you are your most authentic self, right? Because you're not trying to really impress anyone. You are not hoping to go to bed with this person.
Yeah.
You're not hoping to have them as your romantic partner. So you're not presenting your best self. You're presenting your honest self.
Yeah.
And these people know your insecurities, know what you're made up of, have seen you rant about things, cry about things, be happy about things, be proud of things, and they still kind of choose to hurt you is what I find so disturbing.
Yeah.
So even I think friendship breakups are definitely the hardest to deal with.
And also I think one of the reasons why I don't talk to anyone so much about my life, I feel like if a friendship doesn't work out, they know too much about me.
No, but I mean, with me you can.
Not with you. I'm saying a lot of people. Sometimes I just share everything and anything.
I'm an open book also.
And then I'm like, did I share too much? Did I say something?
Bro, I'm also an oversharer.
So I'm just like, and when I get that little door that you open, I'm like, full घुस के बताओ कि मेरे साथ क्या हो रहा है. So I'm that person. I'm like, fuck, I have spoken too much. She doesn't know. She probably was thinking, oh my god, Meghna's this, and I would never know. She's so mysterious. And one night, Meghna said everything about her. So then I'm like, shit, man. And then I have to be friends with that person because
forever, because you told them too much. Is that why we are friends now? Because you accidentally told me too much.
Now it's a forever thing.
Yeah. Great.
But yeah, friendship breakups hurt. Of course, normal breakups hurt because you've given everything to it. And I am the kind of person who will get you. I'm like, whatever, you asked me for this, I'll remember you told me that you want this. And they're like, why did you get me? It's so expensive. I was like, it's okay, you can get me an expensive thing later.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I'll remember and I'll do things.
Yeah.
But I think I am the kind of person who will get over it because if we are not together right now, it's certainly something that you have done to hurt me so much.
You are so right all the time that somebody has hurt you. You can't hurt anyone.
Maybe I have with different people. But I'm sure I tried more than you tried because I have not shown you how much I've tried.
Yeah.
Because I'm also kind of person in a relationship where I'll be like, okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't care. But I am crying inside alone. When I'm saying I don't care, I am crying inside. Like there's a lump in my throat. I'm like, how could he do that to me? But I'll deal with it myself. I was like, fuck it. I will never let the person know that you hurt me so much. I will not let you have that upper hand.
No, I'm completely okay with people knowing that they have hurt me. I'm completely okay with having that conversation with them. I think the only thing that I don't let anyone ever know is how much effort I am making, how much effort it was for me to do a certain something for you, because I feel like that's where I go wrong in my friendships and relationships, because I would make everything look very effortless. You want to go here? Let me book it for you. You don't. You want to get this? Let me do this for you. You want to eat this? I'll cook it for you. You want me to look a certain way? I'll not like look a certain way, but like, you know, you like me in this color, you like me in this outfit, I'll make sure I do this all the time. And I am just that person who makes it look so effortless that by the time I have reached my level of frustration, you are thinking, "Isse kya ho gaya achanak se?" And this happens to me in my friendships, in my relationships, where I'm like, and then they are all confused about suddenly she is bursting out, and I'm just like, it was a lot of effort. Like, for example, not holding this against you, but like, for example, with our Italy trip, I would look at things and I would just be like, okay, these are the options. I've done my whole research, this is next to the beach, this, that, but I made it look very like, oh, it's chill, it's fine, I love doing it. You know? So I feel like when and if I reach like a point of frustration, I'm going to be like, oh my god, I did all of this, and that other person's going to be like, but she was so happy doing it. What is she crying about? You know?
And because you like doing those things because
of
you
course.
want.
I think I like things according to myself.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay, whatever you want. She'll be like, okay, this is beautiful and this is near the beach or whatever. I was like, you like it, book it, because I won't have a problem. I'll just be whatever. You should be happy with it in the end.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was just using a random example.
I'm also saying like, I don't care. Like, I'm just fine because I know the decision, because I've traveled with her. I know she's gonna make the right decision and I'm gonna be happy. Whatever I say right now, no, it's very expensive or I can't do. She'll be like, just go there. When we reach there, I'm like, oh yeah, that was right. You were right.
So I feel like one thing I need to stop doing in my relationships and friendships is just stop making everything look so effortless that people think I'm not making an effort only and it is just second nature and she is just happy to do it. And you know, they walk all over me in that sense of
Yeah.
it. And I think that's something I need to do and change about myself.
But, well, I'm awesome. I don't need to change anything.
Lovely friend.
No. I'm just great. No, I'm messing with you. But yeah, I think I should talk about the things that I'm feeling a little more.
Talk about the things that bother you because
Yeah.
people are not going to read your mind.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite quotes. I keep saying that and then I don't do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it's so important for you to talk to people around you who'll give you the right advice and who know things about you, and you're okay to share. You think they won't judge you because they won't.
Yeah.
And get a therapist if you need, because they'll always give you the right advice. They are
Not always, but they
Therapists?
will nudge you in the right direction.
okay.
I've had like weird therapist experiences
Really?
as well.
No.
We'll discuss it in a different podcast.
Yeah. But it's so important to talk to someone. Please do not deal with it by yourself. Don't keep things inside, because there'll be a day when you will explode and
Yeah.
people will think you're crazy.
Yeah.
But it's just that you kept it inside for so long, and it's gonna hurt you in the end. So you do it for yourself, not for anyone else.
That is it from us frenemies on
Yeah.
this episode. Thanks so much for watching, and we hope that our relationship, friendship, breakup advice / experiences
Yeah.
can help you in any way.
Yeah, and it helps you deal it in a better way
Yeah.
than you were dealing, because every day we are learning and
We are evolving.
we are evolving, and we'll get there.
I'll get to be as perfect as Meghna is.
That's true, someday. But thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.